All right, hello everyone. At the time that I'm recording this, there have been a lot of changes recently. There have been a lot of shifts that have been going on energetically. I've been using this same deck. You might have seen it in a number of videos. And it's this deck here. What is this deck called, actually? Hold on. The Earth Magic. I don't know how I forgot that. Sorry. The Earth Magic Oracle deck. I've been using this for a little bit of insight and advice, inspiration, ideas, a lot recently. But I kind of wanted to not really focus so much on the cards today and more have a really raw conversation overall. There's been a lot on my mind, which I've been trying to put out in either videos or classes or blog posts. It's been a lot to process in my mind. It's been a lot to think about in terms of spirituality and people's views on spirituality and how the concept of spirituality seems to have almost taken on this new form, this new life recently. The word spirituality, spiritual warfare, all these terms, these things have been used quite a bit, but they haven't really been used properly. We've kind of lost the meaning behind them. A spiritual practice shouldn't be work, right? It shouldn't be, and that's not to say that there's not going to be times when you're thinking about spirituality or you're thinking about doing something or you've committed to yourself that you are going to do something and then the time comes to do the thing, whatever that thing is, and you don't really feel like, yeah, y'all, I literally just said effortless, like spirituality should be pretty, by the way, I'm sorry for that reflection. And it came up effortless. It should be like water. This should be your spirituality. And I feel like a lot of people, this is kind of what I want to speak on. A lot of people in this community have been trying to either fit themselves into a mold of what they believe spirituality should be, fit themselves into a mold of what they believe religion should be, of what they believe the concept of God should be, or the concept of energy, or the concept of spirit, not the concept of energy. Sorry, let me rephrase that. The concept of spirit and how that relates to energy. There's been a lot of this belief, this change, this new paradigm almost regarding spirituality and spiritual practice and what that means. In some cases, it's been viewed quite negatively, and in other cases, it's been viewed with people trying to look at it more positively and really struggling with it. There's this kind of gap that I'm going to say I've noticed has occurred, right? I pulled a card, and the card that came out was Emergence. Okay. And what I find interesting is there has been an emergence of people who have come out against religion or religions in general, against spirituality and spiritual concepts. And it's not necessarily atheism. I'm not talking about atheists here. I'm talking actually about people who are almost beyond atheism, who are so in the material that basic concepts like energy are not within their realm of understanding and the realm of reasoning anymore. And so for this collective that is going to end up watching this, who maybe have been struggling with your spirituality or your spiritual practice, which is kind of where this whole mini rant at the start of this began, was that this collective was a collective that had really struggled with their spirituality, with their belief system, with the concept of whatever within their belief system. For some people, it's the concept of God. For some people, it's the concept of spirit. For some people, it's the concepts of heaven, hell, other side, Summerland, the other world, whatever terminology you wish to use. But there's been this like unsettledness in your spirituality, this unsettledness in your practice, this work that you've put in your practice. And there's really been a call when that happens. And it's happened to me a number of times. When that happens, it's really been a call of understanding that now's the time for you to shift. It's time for you to shift how you manage your spirituality. It's time for you to shift how you view the world, how you view yourself, how you view your beliefs. It's time for you to take action and shift things differently, move things in a different direction. To bring back that effortlessness, that idea of, okay, it's my spirituality is this beautiful thing. I don't think anyone really ever looks at nature or a waterfall and thinks to themselves, oh, that's ugly. And there's this kind of this thing that your spirituality should be like that as well. Your spiritual practice should be like that. You should not be looking at your spiritual practice and thinking to yourself, oh, this is ugly, I don't want to do this. You should be looking at your spiritual practice and it should be something that's invigorating. It should be something that you want to do, that you want to take part in, that you want to be a part of, that you want to enjoy, that you want to include maybe other people in if that's something that is possible within your type of spirituality and spiritual practice. I think a lot of you are in the process of up-leveling and you don't know that. That's such an odd thing to say. I don't know how you would not know that you're up-leveling. You don't know that. You don't understand that. You don't understand that this uneasiness, this unknown inside is because you're leveling up. It's not because you've leveled down. It's not because you've lost something. Some of you, I think, are feeling like you've lost a connection, to your soul, to your spirit, to yourself. And I don't think it's so much that you've lost that. I think it's just that it's shifting, it's changing. At the time that I'm recording this, it's the beginning of October. And there's definitely that in October especially, there is definitely into the beginning of November, there is that shift that occurs, especially if you live in an Western-based country where we're currently slowly, gradually moving into like Halloween or a Samhain. There is that shift that occurs. There is that shift that goes forth, right? There is that shift that is present, that's there. And I think a lot of people are in a state of just trying to figure out, you're in these two states. I just pulled two cards and they're very interesting because they're almost antitheses of themselves. We have volatility and vigilance, right? And what I find really interesting is that you can't be volatile and have vigilance, and you can't be vigilant and be in a volatile state. The two don't really work with one another. They're not really cohesive. One is always going to overpower the other. And that's not to say it's a bad thing. It's not to say like this is negative and you need to change it. I think it's just a natural order of things. I think that people right now, whoever this collective is that's going to be watching this collective is going to be in a state of disharmony and working to get into a place of harmony. And the easiest way that they're going to do that is by bringing back things that they love, bringing back in more love, more compassion, more empathy, more understanding into their life. And I think that in today's day, that's really hard to do. I think that a lot of people really struggle with that. A lot of people have a lot of distrust. A lot of people have really shut themselves off. They've really shoved a massive barrier. And I think we need to understand for this collective, what does that mean? If you've shut yourself down, right? You've put up all these walls. Walls are two ways. Okay, walls are not just keeping things out, they keep things in. And so if you're here and you're trying to create something or shift something, but you have all of these walls up around you, you're not going to be able to get that thing out there or to express that thought, that belief, that emotion in the way that you wish to express it, when you have all these barriers up, because it's going to keep that expression energetically within you, because barriers work two ways. Okay, they're not just, oh, I'm going to keep everything out and I'm also going to allow everything through. You can have that, but that's not the energy I'm getting here. I'm getting, like, we've got stone coming up. Stone is not something that allows things through, right? And that's the thing. Stone is hard. And like, the spirits show me like a brick wall. Like, they're showing me like you've put brick walls all around you. A brick wall is going to keep the things in, but it's not going to let the things that you want let out. It's not going to let it let out. So we need to, instead of having a brick wall, maybe just have, a bamboo reed wall. You have a little bit of a barrier, but you can kind of see through it. Like you can see, you can make out, and you can send energy through it and you can accept it back. But a lot of you need to bring in more empathy, more love, more compassion into your life. And I'm also hearing that for this collective in particular, music is going to be really, really important. You need to bring in more music, more be mindful of the music you're playing. What are the lyrics saying? What is the energy that music is giving you? What is the feeling that you're getting? What is the feeling from the artist who wrote that song? And is that energy something that you want to impart on yourself? And if the answer is no, then don't be listening to it. And yes, that sometimes means that people who you used to love, you're going to find that you're slowly not gravitating towards that anymore. You're not loving that anymore. You're just like, okay, I don't remember why I love that so much. And I think that applies in a lot of aspects. I think for this collective, it's going to apply in terms of people, friendships, potentially workships, okay, like employers type thing, work relationships, but mostly within like personal relationships and within your relationship with yourself. This collective is really about their relationship with themselves, their relationship with their own beliefs, and their relationship with their own spirituality. And on that note, I don't really think there's anything further that I need to say. I think that's just the end of it. So I'm going to let that go for now to find the people who it's meant to find. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.